this is Christine Connor from Amelie Designs, giving you some tips on sewing half square triangles. I don't have makeup on this morning, so I'm going to let the camera just focus in on the triangle paper and the project instead of me. So this is what triangle paper looks like. This particular brand is called Triangles on a Roll. You can get it at your local quilt store. It comes in all different sizes. This is a 2-inch finished block, So when I finish sewing all this, I will have a 2-inch finished square that will look something like this. Half of it will have one piece of fabric on one half, like maybe a red and then a white on the other, or another piece of fabric. So each square, here's a square, gives you 2 half square triangles. So if I wanted to sew 12 half square triangles, I would cut off 6 squares, one giving me 12 half square triangles. So here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now what you do is you take your fabric right sides together. So here I have this fabric right side up. This is a batik, so it doesn't have a right or a wrong, so I'm going to call that right side. So my 2 right sides are together. I'm going to lay the paper on top. I'm going to pin it in place. Now on the paper you have all these dashed lines and solid lines. It's best to keep the pins out of the dashed lines because the dashed lines are going to be where you're going to be sewing. So let me put one more pin over here. Okay, now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew down all these dashed lines. They're little arrows that show me which way I can go, but honestly I've sewn them in all different directions and it comes out fine all the time. Okay, before I start sewing, the first thing I want to do is I want to change my stitch length from 2.5 millimeters to 1.5. I like a little tighter stitch because when I go to pull the paper off, it won't pull my stitches out. Here I go. I'm just going to stitch along the dotted line. Okay, you can stop recording for a minute. Just do this real quick. Okay, now that you've stitched along all the dotted lines, we're going to cut along all the outside edge and all the solid lines. I like to use my Creative Grid 12.5 inch ruler just because it's a little smaller. It's a really nice ruler to have because it's just a little bit smaller than your big one. So if you're ever in the mood to buy another ruler and you don't know which one to get, this is a great one. Cutting the whole thing out first, and I'm cutting out all these solid lines, and now I'm going to crisscross. And I'm going to just cut one here. So you get the idea. You cut on all the solid lines. Once you're done, you peel off the paper. Usually start in the corner. It comes off really easy because we tightened our stitch length. Voila, half square triangle. There you have it. Easy, easy.